I'm going to ask you a question. When you get older, what becomes most important to you? Here's a hint. It's not money or a job. It is family and community.
Hi, I'm Beth.
And I'm Dean, and this is Less is the New Retired. We like to talk to you about family, community, how your life as a retired person might be. So let's start off with family. What is family to me? I'm going to say that my family are the people who I'm related to, my children, my brother, my mother, my father, those people. But it's also an extended family of friends that I've known for 20 plus years. And those friends, I would do I would with my family, pretty much anything. If they needed me to do so, I would be there for them. If they needed me to come help them move or whatever, I've done that many times. So glad to do things for my friends and my family, or my family, I just call them my family. And because I think that family is really important. What do you think about family?
I think they're very important. Excuse me, I'm a little bit under the weather, so I'm going to let you do most of the talking today. But family to me is even extended family, just as you're my family now that we're married. You take your spouse and all of their...
Only 33 years, by the way.
Years. But you take your spouse and children into your fold, and your family and my family and your friends and my friends. I just feel like that's a part of you, and also the community that you live in.
Right. And I would say also that, family, whether it's extended family, whether it's friends or family, if you've known them for a long time, let's say they make you mad about something. They say something that hurts your feelings or gets under your skin. As with family, they're not going away. They should be, you love them and you still want to see them and them to be part of your life. So you get over it and you go on about being friends, right? So, or being family. We shouldn't hold things that people say in our within our family unit as being something that's going to hold over us all the time. Don't get mad about sex, politics, or religion when you're talking to your family. In fact, don't talk to them about sex, politics, or religion, and you'll be a lot better off.
True.
Yeah, pro tip here.
For true.
Right? Having been there with some of my family, I know that is actually a good idea. Family is important, but also community. One of the things that we learned about that, and we're experiencing it here, is that community is so important, because when you don't have it, you realize it. And in the house that we lived in, a couple of the houses that we've lived in, we've not had as good a community ties. The people around us, our neighbors, they didn't really talk to us very often, if at all. Beth would make them, holiday dishes and take it to their house and leave it for them, and they knew who was giving it to them, but they never really came and thanked us or had anything to do with us. We did have one set of neighbors in the last house we lived in that were great neighbors. We loved them.
Really loved them.
Great neighbors. We talked to them over the fence all the time. They wanted to know how we're doing. But in general, we didn't have a lot of community of people, and I think part of that, at least I believe this to be so, in the last couple of houses we've had, we were the oldest people around that area. A lot of the people were young. They had, children. They had jobs. So they really didn't have time to hang out with the old people next door, right?
Different interest.
Different interest, right?
Unlike our children.
The thing is, we were trying to be friendly with them. And we found that when we moved to this condo in a 55 plus community, we immediately started having conversations, long conversations with the people around here. I've had one of my neighbors actually ask me to come and put a smoke alarm in and I was glad to do so, because I'm just that kind of guy, right? I'm a do-it-yourselfer, and I like to do stuff for people. But I think it's important to be in a community that is of like age or like interests, and have that community. Now, you may be watching this and saying, well, I don't have a family and I don't have friends. And I don't live in that kind of community. And I want to tell you that Less is the New Retired is a community. And so we'd like to make this a community, and we want you to comment and let us know if you would like to make this your community. My point here is it is a community, and if you like and share and subscribe, then you will be, subscribing is free, you'll be part of our community, and that's what we want.
Yeah.
And to talk about communities, one of the reasons why we think that communities are so important is, so a major review of many studies have shown that older adults with strong social bonds have about a 50% greater chance of surviving longer compared to those with weak or poor relationships. So being in a community is a great way to stay healthy, live longer. Who doesn't want that? Social connectedness is linked to lower risks of depression, heart disease, stroke, dementia, and many other conditions that shorten life. So family and community go together, and they are a part of why we moved to the condo and why we're doing what we do. And I want you to think about whether or not that would be something that you might think that you would like to do. And if it is, please comment. We'd like to hear from you. When we're talking about social connectedness and family, we like to think about the importance of having activities for the family and the extended family to take a part of. And so we'd like to show you a picture of our extended family in Orlando. And as you can see, we have a lot of people there. We had 3 rooms that we got while we were in the Marriott timeshare program. Now we sold our timeshare, but we'll talk about that in another video that's linked in the description about why we got rid of that timeshare. However, part of the reason we got timeshare to begin with was so that we could spend more time with our family, with our friends, and take them in places maybe they had not been, and enjoy our time with them, rather than thinking about what can we get for their next birthday, what can we get for Christmas. They don't need more things, they need time with us, and we need time with them. And so that was part of what our decision on moving to the community, to this community and to the condo, is that we can characterize that we would like to spend more time doing traveling with our family and going places and doing things. Like we have started to go out bowling about every month or so, and we're going to start doing a little bit more of that. My son and son-in-law and I used to be in a bowling league, and I believe that we might be going to get back into that. So that's a great way to spend some time and have some laughs and enjoy each other's company. Wouldn't you say?
I think so. It was a lot of fun. I don't bowl very well, but I had a good time.
We didn't judge you on your bowling.
No, our 2 granddaughters were there, and we had the bumper boards, so I played with them, and that worked out real good.
Yep. So another thing that we were wanting to talk about today was the quiet panic about the decision. So I have to admit, I had about 10 seconds of quiet panic when I realized we were going to be moving into an 1,100 square foot condo, because I thought, where's everything going to go? How are we going to do this, right? And I realized we could work that out. We can work that out. We can deal with it. How about you? Did you have any quiet panic?
No, I had a very loud panic.
That's true. She did have a
loud panic. I thought, what have I done? What am I going to do with all of this stuff? Is it going to work? I'm going to be farther away from the grandchildren. But all that can be worked out, because we had one goal in mind, and that was Dean being able to retire, because I've already retired, and Dean being able to retire, and us being able to do things together and be able to do more things with our family and friends.
And to have the finances in place to be able to do that, right? To manipulate the situation in such a way that we would end up being able to do what we want to do rather than everything that we have to do. So when we're talking about downsizing, the fact is that roughly 40 to 50% of retirees are open to plan to downsize. Maybe you're one of them. Maybe that's why you're watching this channel. But the fact is that less than 20% actually sell their home or plan to do so in retirement. And then the census indicates that only 5% of Americans 55 and older actually move in any given year. So there's a lot of people who talk about downsizing. We are, in this regard, we kind of go against the trend, right? And we go against the trend in a lot of other things. We have had, when I took custody of my children, I was only father with two children before we got married. That was going against a trend because only 1% in 1968 and 4.5% of fathers are fathers only households even today, meaning that 95% of men who have children do not take their children into custody and become their primary
or they are
person.
not given the opportunity to take their children into custody.
Correct. Correct. So that's why I say we've swam against the current on a number of different things that we've done in our lives. And this is one of those where I believe that we also did this because once selling our home kind of swam against the current. Everybody said it's the interest rates are too high. It'll take forever to sell your home. We sold it in one day. All right. So I think that sometimes it's a good thing to swim against the what people believe is the current consensus about how things really are and go your own way. With the caveat.
With research
and
education about what you're going to do.
That's right. That's right.
Don't just say, come on, let's jump off this cliff.
Exactly. You want to know what you're doing before you go out and do it. So I also want to talk about what we thought we'd miss and really don't. So what I thought I'd miss, but I don't, is I used to do woodworking, as you might have seen in the previous video about the house that we sold. I did the butcher block countertops, and I really enjoyed the woodworking. And I thought I'd miss that, but I don't. I think that a big part of that is that was for a specific project, and once that was done, I didn't really want to spend the money or spend the time on it as much as I thought I did. So
it was a lot of work.
It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. A lot of physical labor to get that done. And I don't miss physical labor. Sorry, at all, really. What we didn't expect to gain, I can tell you one thing that I feel like I did not expect to gain, and that was a sense of relaxation. And let me explain that. My relaxation comes from the fact that we were able to pay off all of our debts and moved here, and the only debt we have really is the mortgage. And so that makes my life, much easier. I'm still working, but if I didn't want to, if I wanted to stop now, I could, and we would get by anyway. So I'm not too concerned with the money aspect of it at this point, which, debts are we watched Dave Ramsey for a number of years, and he always says that debt is bad and that cash is king. And that's true. That is a true statement. He didn't really talk that much. He touched on it a few times, but didn't talk that much about the relaxation you feel when you don't have those debts.
Yeah, he talked more about the freedom of choice, I think, that you have, which is true for us too.
Yes.
Freedom of choice.
Freedom of choice and the ability to decide our own future and what we want to have, what we want to spend our money on, rather than being tied to debts. So that was one of the things that I felt like I gained out of this, was more of a calmness over debts and how we ended up getting into this condo. Anything that you can say that you didn't expect to gain but you did?
I don't know if it's a thing so much. Maybe. I am surprised at how often that I think about what a blessing being here is. That we didn't lose anything. We didn't lose stuff. Like Dean said, take a picture, get rid of it. Surround yourself with things or people that make you happy, and just the blessing that we have for being here in a smaller space with much bigger ambitions. I think
Yes.
it's more than I thought that I would feel.
That's good. That's a good way to put it. We're so glad that you took the time to watch this video. And again, we want to ask you to please like, share, and subscribe. Subscription is free and really helps us out with this channel. We are Less is the New Retired. I'm Dean.
I'm Beth.
Thank you for watching.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.